Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. In this episode, we'll be previewing the T20 series between India and Australia. Three T20 series and one eye on that T20 World Cup, or you could say both eyes on that T20 World Cup as it's approaching very fast. Both teams will look to set their combinations, try to get some form in before that World Cup. Australia, missing some key players with the likes of Mitchell Marsh or Marcus Stoinis and Mitchell Stark are both out from due to injury. David Warner taking rest as well. So they're missing some key big players, but still the rest of the players, the likes of Steve Smith, Aaron Finch, Maxwell, these guys will try to hit their way into form. Hazelwood is there, Pat Cummins there as well. Tim David making his debut for Australia, so that would be very, very fascinating to see. And from India's point of view, a lot of talk on who's going to open. Rohit Sharma said in the press conference that Virat Kohli will be given a few shots in the opening start, but in the T20 World Cup, it will be KL Rahul who opens. It'll be him and Rohit. So I don't know what that means for now. They might tinker if there's a loss or anything like that. But for now, it looks like KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma will open with Virat Kohli to open in a couple of games here and there. From India's point of view, Shami got COVID as well, so he was supposed to be in the squad. He was in the backup as well for the T20 World Cup, but he's out due to COVID. So Umesh Yadav, who was going into surgery, he's been called back into the squad, but they'll probably go with Bumrah, Bhuvneshwar, in the beginning, and Harshal Patel as well. Those would probably be India's three fast bowlers, and then if they need to rotate, give others a chance, then they'll do that as the series progresses. But it's an important series. India playing at home, but at the same time, they had a poor Asia Cup. They need to rectify that. Bilaterals hasn't been India's problem. They've been really strong in that, but they'll have to continue this new brand that they're trying to play, aggressive attacking cricket. Their batting wasn't too much of an issue, but in pressure situations, handling the pressure, trying to finish off games with both and bat has been a problem in big games. So that's something that they'll have to work on, India, from that perspective. But it'll be a good test against an Australian team, despite losing some big players. It's still a champion team. They have Hazelwood, Zampa, Cummins, Sean Abbott, Cameron Green. Tim David can bat and bowl. So the thing with Australia, if you look at their bench and starting 11, they have a lot of utility players, whether that's Maxwell, Stoinis, who's not there, Mitchell Marsh, who's not there yet, Tim David as well. If you look at him, Cameron Green, they can bat and bowl, and this is a big advantage Australia have over other teams going into that T20 World Cup. Also, they're going to be playing at home. They're used to those wickets and pitches. They've played domestic cricket there as well, and a lot of these players know the conditions inside out. Josh Inglis is someone that I'm looking forward to. A wicketkeeper batsman who plays aggressive cricket. Of course, he's opening right now because Warner is rested, but he's going to be there in the backup as well. If Matthew Wade gets injured during the T20 World Cup, then you'll see English starting in the 11. So he's there in the squad. But I'm very interested to see how he approaches it. And Ryan Finch as well. He just retired from one days. It's a big series for him going into that World Cup. He's already defending champion as captain, so he's been there, done that. His experience will help. And Steve Smith, someone who can anchor the innings, and I think he's the perfect foil in this aggressive batting lineup. So, the likes of Maxwell, Finch, Wade, Tim David, Cameron Green, they can hit around Smith, play some aggressive cricket, and Smith can anchor and play his own shots when required as well. Even in that T20 World Cup, you saw Smith wasn't in the best of forms, but whenever he was there, there was a sense of calm. He rotated the strike of some key partnerships there. But Australia, that's their strength, all-rounders, big hitters, bowlers who can, batsmen who can bowl, bowlers who can bat. So they have a lot of depth in this 11 and squad, and, it'll be difficult to beat them. That's where India lack, I think, they rely too much on Hardik Pandya. If Hardik Pandya gets injured, what do they do? In Indian conditions, they have Deepak Huda there. If they do play him, I don't think he'll play in the starting 11, but he's an option with both bat and ball. But apart from that, there's not too many options. We saw Virat Kohli bowl a bit in the T20 World Cup. I would like to see Rohit Sharma roll his arm over in this series as well, just so you have that option. Because if you look at almost every team will have a batsman who can bowl in the power play. You have a Maxwell, Pakistan, they have Iftikhar Ahmed, England have Moeen Ali. So you have players who can bowl as well in the power play or in different times during a match, and that's what India lacks. They rely too much on Hardik Pandya, but it is what it is. They'll have to go with what they have, and Hardik Pandya will be a key player not only in this series but T20 World Cup. Not only does he important with the bat, ball in the field, but he also allows India to play that balance. They can go with an extra spinner if Hardik Pandya plays, because he provides you with the fourth seaming option if the spinner gets hit, and that's why he will be key. Tomorrow, I think Akshar Patel will start with Chahal. Those will be your two spinners. In Australia, will they both play? I think yes, but other teams might play one spinner and one part-time. So like someone like England probably play Adil Rashid, Moeen Ali. Australia might play Zampa and Maxwell instead of Zampa and Ashton Agar. And that's where India might be caught because of that all-rounder issue. but and I don't know if Deepak Hooda will fit into that 11. But yeah, for tomorrow, I think the starting 11 will be KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, one down, Surya Kumar at number 4, at number 5, Hardik Pandya. At 6, it'll be between Pant and Dinesh Karthik. I think they will be rotated in this series. I like to see Pant, but Dinesh Karthik is the finisher. That's what they said before, so they'll have to go with him. And then I think number 7 will be Akshar Patel, 8 Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Then you have Bumrah and Chahal and Harshal Patel. Sorry, Harshal Patel, Bhuvneshwar, and then Chahal and Bumrah. That will be India's 11. From Australia's point of view, I think Josh Inglis will open the innings with Aaron Finch. You'll have Steve Smith one down, Maxwell 4 at number 4, Matthew Wade at number 5. They'll probably go Tim David at 6, Cameron Green at 7. That's big hitting until number 7. And then you'll have your bowlers Zampa, Pat Cummins, Josh Hazelwood, and Sean Abbott, who is no mug with the ball either. So Australia are pretty much sorted. And if you look at the T20 World Cup, when Warner comes back, he slides right into this team. Mitchell Marsh and Stoinis will make their way, maybe, but it won't be easy because Tim David and Cameron Green, if they perform, then it won't be easy. So Australia have a lot of options in that way, and all-round options as well. That's a big positive from Australia's point of view. It's an exciting series. I think India have the advantage because Australia are missing key players. India are playing at home as well, and they'll want to eradicate that that bad patch they had in that Asia Cup, and no better way to start than this series. Then they have the South Africa series as well. 2 competitive match series back to back going into that T20 World Cup. Again, it looks like this Indian team has a different kind of mindset. They're looking to experiment. They're looking to try things. They didn't fear losing that Asia Cup. You could see even after the last year, they were upset on the field and everything, but you could see there's a process that they're trying to build. They're going to play some high-risk cricket, and that might prove to be successful in Australia, but we're yet to see. Again, Virat Kohli coming off fresh of 100. He's a player to watch out for me. He's someone who has had a poor 2-3 years, but he's come back with a bang. He had a decent Asia Cup and an excellent finish to an Asia Cup. And now if he can continue that form, he'll be a big player for India in the T20 World Cup. I think he's fine one down. Of course, if he opens, that's not a bad option. But I think KL Rahul has been your opener for 2-3 years. You need to stick with that. He is a talented player, no doubt. Strike rate could be an issue, but if Rohit Sharma is going banging away, then someone like a KL Rahul can take his time in patches. But and also I feel that Rahul was coming out of injury. So it took him a bit of time in Asia Cup, but now he has matches under his belt, and now he'll have this series, South Africa series. If he doesn't get injured, I think he should be ready to go in Australia. His timing is brilliant. Shot selection is really good. He can clear, in the power play, clear the circle if required. He can rotate the strike, and I think he is your opener along with Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma is playing a lot of more expansive shots, playing more aggressive cricket. I really enjoyed his inning against Sri Lanka. I felt that someone like a Pant or Pandya finished that innings properly, India would have a match-winning total in that game. It wasn't to be, but I really liked the way Rohit Sharma played in that game. And I think that's the kind of way he wants his team to play, even when they're losing wickets, try to play aggressive cricket, try to get as many runs on the board. And it hasn't really clicked for India, but if it does click, they can be a very dangerous opposition. Bumrah back, that's going to be key in the death overs. We saw that was a problem in the World Cup. That means Bhuvneshwar can probably bowl 3 or 4 overs in the power play itself. I think Harshal Patel and Bumrah will do the death over duties. Hardik Pandya is an option as well, both in the power play and death over, so India can rotate in that way. And that's where Bumrah is going to be key as well. His fitness will be very important because they really missed him in that Asia Cup. And will he be as effective? Only time will tell, because he's had injuries recently. But if he's fully fit and raring to go, then Bumrah will be lethal at any stage in the game. I think they will bring him in the middle overs, and in the death overs as well. I think that's where they see Bumrah in this team lineup. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting series. I think India 2-1 to win this series, and it won't be easy, but I think they will just have enough to cross that line. From Australia's point of view, it's about continuing to play the way they played in that World Cup. And Australia is a team that even if they lose a few matches here and there, when the big matches come, mentality is something that they're very good at, and India will have to learn, because India have the talent, but sometimes a lot of the times in big matches they crumble under pressure. So that's something that Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid are trying to change, and hopefully it does change. Let's see what happens there. But Australia, whatever happens in this series, they'll have players back in that World Cup. They'll be playing at home, so they'll be a bit more comfortable going into that World Cup. For India, they have a lot still to tinker with, not in terms of maybe squad, but in terms of 11, they still have options. You play Dinesh Karthik Pant, you go with the extra spinner, extra fast bowler. Which fast bowler to go with? Will Arshdeep play in the World Cup, or will they stick with Harshal Patel, Bhuvneshwar, and Bumrah? A lot of questions to be answered, and maybe this series can give us some answers to that. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting series. Make sure you stay tuned for the latest content on Down the Track. For this India, Australia, and even the Pakistan, England going simultaneously. And both the series are very important because it shows you how the teams are shaping up going into that World Cup, which is now almost a month away. Exactly, just in this time next month, the World Cup would have started, and you'd have your group stage qualifiers and group stages started as well. So not much time left, and this is the time for the teams to experiment a bit, but also try to get into form. That's the main thing. They'll want to win games. They'll want their players to perform, pick wickets, take catches, and score some runs. And I said catches is very important. I've seen in big matches, whether it was the India-Pakistan game where Arshdeep dropped, whether Pakistan game Shadab dropped, catches can cost you. So it's about fielding as well. It has to be very important. Sri Lanka were the best fielding side in the Asia Cup, and they won the Asia Cup. So fielding is also another thing that all teams will have to look at. In Australia, big boundaries, you might have those on the rope catches as well, trying to stop the threes. The teams will try to convert twos into threes, ones into twos, and that's what you have to stop on these big grounds. That would be a very important factor. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll get you the latest from both series heading into this T20 World Cup. Thank you so much.